30 years, and JC's 15 years, and Tommy's over 25 years of network marketing experience, coming together and putting the best of what we know to create, we believe, one of the best opportunities out there in the industry today. And that is the whole reason why we put a team like this together. You know, you can always have one person, you have two people, but when you got a team together, a true partnership, you really can lean on each other's shoulders and experience to be able to talk about real life events or real life experiences of like, look, no, this company, we did this, and this, we did that. You find the best of everything and you put that together. And, you know, starting there with Dan Putnam, I mean, if you ever hear his story, he started, he was in college. I think he was 19 years old and got involved in network marketing. And since then, he has started and generated over, and this is a crazy number, but it's something that's legit, over $1 billion, I say billions of dollars worth of sales in his career, as well as paid out billions of dollars in commissions, which is just phenomenal if you really consider the amount of experience that comes into that. Meaning that Dan has been a student of the industry his entire life, his entire career, and he has learned and he has grown and he's leveled up. And this company, Against All Odds, is really named after this idea of going against the odds, putting something together that we know people can be successful at based on the experiences that we have and putting them all together. You know, the thing about Dan too that I just want to edify him to even, you know, on a different level, this was his vision. You know, I remember I was in the Bahamas when I got a call from Dan Putnam, who happened to be driving down to St. George, Utah, and said, hey, I got an idea. And he shared this idea about these plants that we're going to talk about, this farm that grows these greens, and then making not just a green product, but then adding, you know, these different formulas to make one of the best products that everyone needs on a daily basis. More importantly, to make it affordable to other people out there as well too. But this was Dan's vision. Then it came down to, well, recognition. Let's put some NFTs and let's talk about a duplication system. But more importantly, what about this holding people accountable for what they do? And this is really where JC Martinez comes into play. I've known JC for years now. I've seen him in his environment. If, you know, when you saw him here tonight, full of energy. He's always like, go, 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 go. He's the one guy I know that burns past midnight and keeps on working. I remember one time we took a trip together to Mexico, and we were working till 3 a.m. together, making sure we're getting promotions and stuff written and done out there for the field. And that's just to show you his work ethic and his belief in the system. But more importantly, he's self-made. You know, he came from Mexico. He had, you know, learned English, of course, and just climbed the ranks from customer service in network marketing to now be an owner of one called Against All Odds. And those are just some fantastic feats that you've seen a guy be disciplined and also to work through hard times to become who he is today, which leads to what we have next, which is called our 5 non-negotiables. Now, what we've noticed in our life and what we've noticed in this industry, and we've worked with millionaires, we've traveled the world, you know, I've worked with multiple distributors in multiple countries, as has Dan, as has JC, and we wanted to put together 5 different things that we know that people are accountable for, that they do a disciplined job to level their life up. And so as the culture of this company is coming together, the key is to create a culture of accountability. The key is to put a culture that allows for people to not only just sell a product, which we're familiar with network marketing, to create residual income, but a system in which people literally can be self-disciplined, learn that, and grow in the process. Some of the conversations we had behind closed doors, we've even said, look, if people come into AAO and eventually they leave, we want them to leave a better distributor or a better person, just because of the principles that we're going to teach them and the way we're going to hold them accountable on these 5 non-negotiables. And I'm going to go over these here just briefly. We also have an app that will be ready, we believe, this week or next week. That app is your 5 non-negotiable app. It's going to talk about the program, what it is, and how to hold yourself, plus your team members, accountable, which is so key in keeping those non-negotiables. Another thing, too, I want to share about these 5 non-negotiables is this is not something that we just created. It's something that we started ourselves back in February. Anyone who follows myself, Dan, or JC on any sort of social media will see that we're constantly posting, whether we're doing our steps, whether we're working out at the gym. And that's how we hold ourselves accountable to each other. And so we hold ourselves accountable to other people of making sure that we're keeping our 5 non-negotiables that we've all kept since February. And our lives have drastically changed in that process. So don't think of this as a marketing tactic that we're just going to have you do and hold you accountable for. It's something that we've been living since the month of February. For example, I've lost like 15 pounds. I gained 5 pounds of muscles. I have read tons of books. I wrote in my journal. Like, these are all the things I put together. So let me briefly go over the 5 things that we have seen help people level up in their lives and in their business. The first is nutrition. Nutrition, a lot of people overlook that. They don't realize how important that if you eat a proper diet and proper food, that you actually will behave better than you normally can. I was actually remember talking to a doctor one time, and we were talking about nutrition, and I never thought of it like this. But the way he explained to me was this: nutrition is like a drug. It affects your body, and you know that. You know when you've had too many carbs. You know when you've had too much sugar. You know when you've eaten right. You know when you've had the right balance. You behave differently. It's the same thing when you take a drug. When you take any sort of drug, there's an alteration in how your body responds. So if you're feeding yourself the engine, the best nutrition you can, you're going to be at the top of your game. You're going to feel good. You're going to have the right mental clarity to make the right decisions. So the first is nutrition. We're going to challenge you to go out there and make a non-negotiable contract with yourself to say, what are you going to do about your nutrition in your life, and how are you going to keep that every day? And that a non-negotiable is a contract that you keep, you cannot break, that you will be consistent with your entire life. And of course, they can change, and of course, they can be small baby steps that get going. For example, I would love to see everybody commit to drinking, the greens every day, because you should. But that is a nutrition non-negotiable that you can actually put and actually keep yourself accountable to. Number two, something physical. As I mentioned, if you follow ourselves on Instagram, we are always doing something physical. Let me give you a little personal example here of our co-founder, JC Martinez. Whenever we travel, and this is my favorite thing about him, whenever we travel, the first thing he does is he looks up where the closest gym is. And we will go to that gym, pay a day wage, and we will all work out. And we do it together. And how many times do we go on vacation when the last thing you want to do is go to the gym? Ever since we created our non-negotiables, ever since I've been traveling, I've also held myself accountable to them and to myself to go out and do something physical, no matter what it is, every day. I've been walking up and down airplane stairs before. I have gone to in my hotel room and worked out for 30 minutes next to my bed doing push-ups just to keep my non-negotiable, things of that nature. But something physical every day in your life will also change the way your mind thinks. It'll change the way you are and the way you behave, which is what our challenge is to help you level up to be at the best you can be, to have the most success you can be. The third of the non-negotiables is personal development. What are you doing on a daily basis to grow? And that could be from reading books. It could be from meditation. It can be a variety of different ways that allows you to be more spiritual and more in touch with who you are. So you show up different. You're able to present yourself more educated, in a different way, in a different fashion, and to allow personal growth to occur, because without personal growth, very rarely do I see business growth. And a lot of personal development comes into a business like we're doing right now. And so we believe that personal development is essential and a non-negotiable. That's something you should be working on every day of your life to improve who you are in your life moving forward. The fourth thing is finance. And this, it's not just finance. It could be finance business. We hope it's your AAO business, but if it's not, that's fine. But if you're reading books on finance, or if you say to yourself, look, I'm going to block out an hour of my time every day just to do emails, you're now keeping a finance commitment because you're helping your business grow. You're tending to what you're doing, but you have to focus that non-negotiable contract with yourself every day to get that done. And the biggest thing is accountability. I read an article in Harvard Magazine that talked about these fitness trackers that everyone has. Most are familiar with it on an Apple Watch, a Fitbit, a Garmin. And what they noticed, they did a study on this, and what they showed was that when people have accountability, in other words, when people know that you're showing up, getting steps, and if you don't get them, they're going to call you out. But they also did this study that if you didn't share your information, chances are you skipped out. Chances are you didn't keep that promise to yourself. So the whole idea of accountability is it's going to build teamwork and camaraderie with your team members, because you're going to hold each other accountable for your 5 non-negotiables. Now, this is the culture of the company that's going to allow you to thrive and to grow and to focus on who you are, but to create that residual income that you've always wanted to attain. And this is something that is very important for us here at Against All Odds. This is a program that we feel if you follow to a T, you will become a fantastic business owner in person and find the success that you're looking for. And we're excited for the release of that app and to talk more about those 5 non-negotiables. Another thing too we want to make very clear to you is not just are you making non-negotiables with yourself, but as a company, we want to make a contract with you, a non-negotiable contract with you. We've been in this industry for 20-some, hundreds of years combined, years of experience. And here's some things that we've seen throughout this industry. Number one, single product. I've been a part personally of some of the largest company launches in the world. The first being Tahisha Noni, the second one being Zango. And when I say launch, I'm talking I was one of the first employees, climbed the ranks, executive, moving on to help with the startup of one of the other companies, like Zango, for example, for when I even did my own, hitting 100 million. And I'll tell you what, one thing that we learned from this, when you have a single product and you have a single focus, you have the highest rate of duplication. The confusion starts when you start adding more products and more products. In fact, Dan talked about this. We had a conversation about running how we run specials in companies that we've had. And what's interesting is you run a special, you'll see sales go up. And what's interesting about it, if you really break it all down, the reason why sales go up is not necessarily because of the discount or the deal, because sometimes you can have discounts going on. It's the fact that everyone knows what to do. And so when you have this industry and you have a single product focus, everyone knows what to say and everyone knows what to do. And that's why we as a company will never come out with another product. The formula is never going to change. We have a single product and we're going to keep that system the entire time. Second thing, I just mentioned it, the formula won't change. We did that on purpose. We made sure that every product and every ingredient in this product right here, Active Greens, is on, it's called the GRAS list. The GRAS list is something the FDA puts out to make sure it's called safe. That GRAS list of all these ingredients is actually accepted all around the world. So when we go to other places, when this company does grow, we're not going to be held back by having to change the formula because there's a stimulant or there's something in there that isn't accepted. That is so key because not only do you have to have that single product duplication, but you're going to have that single product story. And that story changes if you have to change the formula. Well, the formula won't change because we have nothing in there that is not illegal or questionable by the FDA or anything along those lines. So we feel very confident well, we don't feel confident. We know because we did the research ahead of time. These products are on the GRAS list and you will be able to register them in any country around the world. And lastly, another promise that we're going to make with you is we will do no insertions, meaning the time you have right now is the position you're going to have forever. You're never going to have a deal where someone's put on top of you. You're never going to have a deal where someone gets a leg or a money deal or something along those lines. We have been in so many companies where the culture, when you start introducing that to a culture, it just kills it. And for us, it's more important to just do the right thing and keep it going as we go. And if someone wants to come on and they see the opportunity, then they get on just like anyone else does. So that's important right now because as this matrix comes into play and you have the ability to sign up for free and to share this and get your team together, you're the first to know this. And let me give you some personal experience of my own when I've been in network marketing. So I have been a part of startups. I've started my own multiple network marketing companies. Some gone well, some not so well. The ones that did well, and even the ones that didn't do well, the ones that were at the very top, the ones that came in right now, those were the pioneers. And trust me when I say this, we will have challenges. It doesn't not exist when a startup doesn't have challenges. It's going to be easier to address those challenges because we only have one product. We have 3 founders. We have a whole team behind us that's going to make sure those issues get done. But what we're going to tell you is the position you have now will always be yours. We're not cutting deals. We won't ever cut deals. So now's the time to build. And if you do that now, all you can do is just reap rewards as this company grows years and years down the road. As a force matrix, as you know, there's spillover. It's the time right now to get involved. But this is our non-negotiable promise that we'll make to every one of you here that joins this company. Single product, formula won't change, and no inserts whatsoever. Now let's talk a little bit about recognition. I actually was doing some customer service tickets today. We've had a few come through. And some of the questions I had was, what's an NFT? What does it even matter? In fact, at our event in Park City, I had the same questions. And so I'm going to go briefly over what NFTs are. NFTs are, it's called a non-fungible token. What it is it's something that shows up on the blockchain, the same as like a cryptocurrency, Ethereum, Bitcoin. They show up on that Bitcoin or on that chain, but that's the only similarity they have. What's unique about it is once you're given this NFT, it will also never change. It's always yours, and there will never be another one made. You have one of a kind on the blockchain. So what's the value of an NFT? Well, the value is as the company grows, as you collect these NFTs, let's just say that this company becomes like $1 billion company, which we know it will. That very first NFT is going to be worth a lot of money. That's because it's like the rookie card or the first edition that you can get. And so as a recognition for keeping you on AutoShip, like for example, August 22nd, those that place an order will get a special NFT, which is this tiger that you see over on the left-hand side of the screen. That is going to be your NFT. And no one gets another one like that. And there will never be another one made. And then we have monthly ones that you'll get. So as long as you stay in your subscription and keep going, you'll be collecting these NFTs. And with the NFT, because they're unique and they show up on the blockchain, we're going to do some profit sharing with you. That's the other value of having an NFT is you know exactly that you have this position and you have this NFT. So when we do profit sharing, the NFT is going to be the trigger to let me know who gets what, when, where, and how. So hold on to those when they're coming. I mean, we'll show you all how to hold them, how to store them. But here's another thing that's really cool too. You know, a lot of people, when they get NFTs, you have to go register them. These will already be registered on the blockchain, which means it doesn't cost you anything. And, you know, as you know, our monthly subscription is only $50. So just think of the value that you're going to get with these coming out there. So this is a way that we're going to do recognition. Once again, it comes down to what is the culture that we're trying to create. So you get the 5 non-negotiables. We're using modern technology to go out and do some recognition because we also know how important that is, but we also want to give value to that recognition and to reward those that do come in early. So we're excited about those NFTs and getting those ready. So let's talk briefly about the products. As I mentioned, Dan actually, when he on his way down to St. George, there's this little small city called Delta, Utah. And as Dan passed that, that's when it dawned on him of this idea of a single product and a great story. Now, Dan has been introduced to the greens 5 years ago. And the greens are a really good story. This is actually a really good example of how a single product focus makes all the difference than having multiple product focus. So the greens aren't new to the marketplace, just the green portion. I'll talk about the formula. So the formula is new, not the greens, but the formula is new. And what's unique about that is that when you have the story that I'm going to share with you, this is probably, and I don't even want to say probably, this is the best product you will ever see on the market. It's incredible. And then Dan, this is where his genius comes in, although his ability to look at products and see what they need, but adds 3 blends to this already amazing greens product. You know, the adaptogenic and the detox, the green biome matrix that we'll talk about here in just a second, and the nitric oxide boost. I mean, these are amazing things that your body needs to grow. The adaptogenic and detox blend, this is something, if you think about it today in today's world with detox, it's interesting. Everyone, with the way the world is now, if you were to take our blood and take a sample of it, you would find more toxins in our body than any of our predecessors or previous ancestors. I think we all know why that is. Think of the cars, the pollution, the place that we're involved in every day of our life, and our body absorbs that every day. You need a way for your body to process that and to eliminate that, and that's why we have a detox blend. The greens biome matrix blend, and the next slide I'm going to talk about the greens biome and how unique that is. But the thing about greens, we all know we need to have them, but as humans, we can't digest the greens. And we'll talk about that process of how we get the greens and the nutrients out. But we do need greens, and what'll blow your mind, if you look at cattle or you look at a horse, you know, you look how big they are, and all they do is eat grass, you know what I mean, and things of that nature. It's because they can break down and take the nutrients out, and that's why they're such large animals. Our bodies aren't designed that, but we have found a way to extract those nutrients and to give us the same thing to help our bodies be nutrient rich and actually have the trace minerals that we need. As we know, trace minerals, you know, your body the biggest reason why we have disease, I'll just say this, is because of lack of minerals. And a lack of minerals come to us because we don't have the same minerals in the overfarmed soils that we have all over the world. And lastly, the nitric boost oxide, the nitric oxide boost. Studies have been done. In fact, during COVID, I did some studies on the nitric oxide. And what they found out is it literally helps you, it reverses heart disease. Now think about that. The #1 killer in the world, here we are in 2022. Heart disease has been the #1 killer for I don't even know, years, centuries. And they have now shown that nitric oxide reverses heart disease in your body. This is actually studies that are done that can read up on that. So we have a 2-path system being introduced to this blend to give you that boost. In fact, we have these nitric oxide test strips that will come with every order. So when you drink your first, your active greens, before you drink it, we want you to test your nitric oxide levels. And you'll see that you'll put it on your tongue and it'll come back white or maybe a little bit of pink. You'll drink one of these, 20 minutes later, you'll take it and it'll be a dark pink. Shows you that your body is absorbing and using the nitric oxide. In fact, one time I even had a blood monitor I put on my finger, tested my blood oxygen level, it was 97. I was just sitting there, drank some juice. 20 minutes later, tested again, it was up to 98. It increased by 1% just by drinking the product. So we know that it increases oxygen in your body. Let me tell you about the green biome matrix blend. This is to me is the most fascinating story. And I was talking with Tommy, our president, because he does a lot of our creativity and artwork. Is when we do this, we have to tell the story. I'm going to share with you now. Is what is the difference of our greens? In fact, in Park Seed, I had people ask me that. What makes your green special? And when I tell them what makes it special, that's when it clicks as to what they actually have to be able to have leverage and to go out and share with. So the green biomes matrix mix, and this is this picture here. What's unique about it is, number one, is the soil that it's grown in. So there are some farmers that actually have a farm, we call it an algae farm up in the state of Washington. And they purchased that area to grow algae. And they're probably one of the biggest algae suppliers because they understand that the type of water that algae grows in gives you the biggest content. So what they did as well is they said, okay, if we're going to grow greens, where would we do that? And so they looked all over and they realized there's some things that need to be in common to give you the best soil for your grass. Number one, it can't be over farmed. Number two, it has to be in an area that had an inland sea. There's only two places in the world with an inland sea. That's the Great Salt Lake here in Utah and in the Dead Sea in Israel. Why is that important? When you have an inland sea, for hundreds of millions of years, that sediment has been sitting there. And as the lake dries up, all that sediment is left behind, leaving rich soil for farming to be had. Now, Delta, Utah hasn't been farmed until like the last, 50 years. Like it's pretty brand new. It's not over farmed at all. So these farmers brought up all the land. If you look at the middle picture there, you can see the color of the greens right then and there. But here's the most important part. Most companies, when they have their greens, they'll cut it and then they'll cut it out and they dry it. And then they turn it into powder. So what you're getting is reconstituted powder. With our greens in this process that we only buy from Delta, Utah, make that very clear. We don't buy it from anybody else but Delta, Utah. What they do is they cut the grass. The manufacturing farming aspect is right on the plant there. They'll juice it. And then they take that juice and put it through a process, never going above 41 degrees Celsius, which is not boiling or freezing, which allows it to maintain the integrity of the nutrients in the grass, then turning it into a powder. So if you look at that middle picture, you can see the difference between competitors and the difference between our greens. One has been dried out in the sun. The other one has been juiced and then turned into a powder and then placed into our products. That's a quality of greens that only we are offering you that you cannot get anywhere else on the market. So that's what makes our product very unique and to get out to you. We talked already about the adaptogenic detox blend. We also talked about the nitric oxide boost blend. One thing I do want to share with you is the Optimum Absorption Booster. So it's one thing to get the products in your body. It's another thing to have your body absorb it. So when you do use things like black pepper and almond MAC, these are agents in your body that allow to use these bodies and allow your cells to absorb and to use the ingredients that we're getting to you. Once again, we'll have a video and we'll share all this information with you as we do it. These are the test strips I was talking to you about. On the one, when you put it in your mouth, it's going to be very light pink. After you drink the product, you're going to see that it just gives you a really dark pink, showing you and any other customers that you may have how it's going to actually create that in your body. The nitric oxide, which has been shown to reverse heart aging. Comp plan, we have a 3x10 matrix. Very important, as I mentioned before. There are three different comp plans that are primarily in this industry. You have a matrix, you have a binary, and a unilevel. The compensation plan that pays out the most checks is a matrix. In other words, most people make money and most checks on a matrix. And the way that we've designed our matrix with the spill, it allows the legs to be balanced as people sign up on your team. Now, that doesn't mean that you lose people because you keep your sponsorship. And that sponsorship is key because that allows you to not only reap the rewards of your personal sponsorship, but also allows for it to help with your team members. Matrix also give you the best amount of opportunity to work with the team. How many times have you been in this industry where people say, my team, your team, this team, that team? Well, in the Matrix, you're one team. And that's the whole point of putting this together, is because we want this to be one team, working in the same direction, doing the same things, saying the same story, using the same system over and over and over. And that's where a single product, a single system that we're putting together is going to guarantee your success with this amazing product as we move forward. Now, those that aren't interested in the compensation plan, which is the residual, is the 50% on retail sales. Now, that's huge. That's dollar for dollar, 50%. So if someone comes in and buys non-subscription, retail price of $59.95, they're going to get a $30 check every time someone purchases that product. $30. on a $59.95 purchase, which if you look online and look for any sort of product like ours with the greens, you won't even find a retail price at $59.95. Usually they come in at $70 to over $100 on a month's supply. As you know, ours is $59. If you sign up on a subscription, we're going to drop the price to $49.95, thereby giving you a $25 or 50% on that retail sale. Huge opportunity for you to make money off the retail sales. Let me tell you why retail sales are actually so important. Retail sales are so important because a lot of times in this industry, people aren't ready for network marketing. They may not agree with it. They may not know about it. They may think, oh, it's one of those scams or one of those things, until they understand and see what it really is, right? So on a 50% on a customer bonus or a customer program, it allows people to say okay to the product, to see how it works. And then when they see you doing well, building a business, they're going to come to you and say, well, how do you do a business? How does this work? And then that's when you talk about the compensation plan. So it's a good way to have a good, strong customer base for those that aren't ready just yet. So we have the best of both worlds. We got our networkers, and we also have the retail sales. We also offer a $10 customer bonus on every purchase made by someone referred on one of your personal customers. So that is paying out on top of that as well, all the way through sponsor tree. Another important part of this compensation plan is our $100 minimum check. I like this a lot. Dan talked about this. We both agree the key to being in business is to always be profitable. And so we want to make sure that when you have the duplication, when you use the app, when you follow the system and get that duplication, if you just get three, you get three, we're going to guarantee you a check of $100. When that check is guaranteed, and you're, like I said, in our comp plan, it takes $50 to unlock the whole thing all the way down. You're guaranteed a $100 minimum check. Now you've doubled your cost of your business. And so you no longer look at your product as a consumer. You look at your product as a business. You look at your product as an entrepreneur, something you can spend money on to make money on. And then we're going to get you into profitability as soon as we can. Now, we have some other things that we also are putting together that you will love called coding. Now, we haven't got to the details of that yet. We do, but we haven't out there as far as language to share with you. But just know that coding and training is going to be a part of this compensation plan as we move on. But let me just give you the idea of the power of three. I love this slide here because it shows you what duplication is. Now, in a force matrix, it just puts volume all the way down. But if you get three people who get three people, you can see that you're going to get that, that bonus of $100. And then if they get three people, it goes to 81 who get three people at 243. So if you look there, you can look at the different percentages and then do all the way over, you can see the amount of money that you can make. So if you just do the three who get three and duplicate that, and then duplicate it 4 times, you're going to make over $300,000 just in the compensation plan. That's without retail customers. That's without the coding bonus that we're going to be sharing with you. That is literally just like a $50 product duplicating 3 who get 3. That's the potential earnings that a matrix has that I think makes this one of the best opportunities out there on the market. And more importantly, here's where a lot of money is made. It's called the generation bonus. Most companies, in fact, I've never seen this done before. A generation bonus pays you a percentage of someone's check all the way down through 10 generations. Now think about how deep 10 generations. And what's a generation? A generation goes all the way until they hit a rank that's called a 4-star. That would be your first generation. And then they'll start looking further down for the second generation, which is the next 4-star. So in between that no one in that first 4-star, and then the second one, the second 4-star, you're getting a check match on everybody in that organization through your personal sponsor tree. Huge amount of earnings potential just on the 10 generation bonus match that we're doing. So here's some 3-step system that we're telling you right now. Once again, we're going to have an app. We're going to have this as we get launched. This is the pre-launch. But it's only $49.95. There's no membership fee. It's funny. I talked about this. People come and say, well, is there a fee to get going? No, it's $49.95. It's the cost of the product. Step number 2, share this information with many people as it takes just to get 3 influencers, because you want to build out your 3 who get 3. Once again, you get a customer, great. But you still want to get your 3 people, your 3 influencers who are going to get 3. Duplicate it 2 more times. We talked about this. You're going to get $2,100. Duplicate these steps 4 more times, and you're going to earn over $300,000 a month in the matrix. Plus the matching bonuses that we talked about gives you probably a check of over $400,000. This is something you can do on a $50 product, following the system that we're going to put for you. Our job here with the 5 non-negotiables, with the NFTs, with this compensation plan, with the training, the coding, is going to make everyone here who follows the system to be the most successful run they've ever had in network marketing. And this is years and years of experience coming together to go out and be successful, to help other people become successful, and to create a legacy for those that are willing to take the time to improve their lives and to improve themselves. And this is really the function and the culture and the reason why we got together as owners and said, let's do something amazing. Let's do something that we've always wanted to do. Let's do it together because we hold ourselves accountable. We have a team to draw on experience with. But our mission is to turn you into that person we know you're going to become. We have a lot of programs and a lot of fun to move forward. I hope you feel the passion. I hope you feel the excitement. This is something that we believe in. It's something that we practice. It's something that we want to see happen. And I have no doubt when we have this full thing going, you know that you can rely on every one of us to be by your side, helping with you, answering your questions, working with your team, working with your downline to get you to the level that you want to get to. And that is what the mission here is at Against All Odds. Appreciate you guys joining the call here tonight. I want to turn the time over to our president, Tommy Carden, to say a few words and to close out the call. Thank you, Tommy.
Awesome. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. Awesome, you guys. Thanks so much for being on the call right now. I just want to invite you to get back with the person who invited you to this call. Be sure to lock in your free spot tonight if you haven't already done so. That's really important. You've got from now until the 22nd to get that done. Be sure, like Travis said, he took some time. He did a great job going over your non-negotiables. You know, you've got an exercise plan, a nutrition plan. Just to briefly retouch on the exercise plan, because Travis did an amazing job. You know, if you get up and you get going and you move and you increase the blood flow to your brain, you know, ideas can come. You know, you can really move into momentum by getting started, getting going with your day, eating the right food, your personal development plan, and, you know, the plan to improve your financial situation. You know, I'm assuming on this call that this is something that, you know, Against All Odds is opportunity to improve your financial situation. So go out and find your three and help your three find their three. It's really, really important. So accountability is so important. And, you know, not to take away from anything that Travis has said, but I just want to make this point because I feel passionate about this. I met Dan Putnam a little over 20 years ago when I was introduced to another opportunity. And I had no idea how much he would actually change my life. He's the best accountability partner that I've ever had. You know, and I haven't always worked with Dan. It's kind of been an on again, off again thing. I've had other businesses, you know, and I've come and I've gone, but you know, we have such a great friendship and accountability. I think because he's accountable, like we always have these goals and these things that we're talking about. He's been a great accountability partner for me. So here's the thing, in this industry, you're going to be talking to a lot of people in the coming days, weeks, months, and hopefully years as you build, you know, as you get your financial freedom, right? When you find somebody who takes you seriously, it changes your life. You know, Dan took me seriously and I take Dan seriously. And I know that it's something that goes both ways. I know that we've changed each other's life, but just to speak to what's happened with me, it's absolutely changed my life. You know, you're going to go out, you're going to talk to people. Some are going to say yes. Some are going to say no. And some of the people who say yes are going to take this very seriously. They can become your accountability partners. And, you know, the beautiful thing, one of the things that I love about this industry, and one of the things that I'm so excited about with this particular business, with Against All Odds, is that because we have this accountability plan, because we are a non-negotiable culture, we are a non-negotiable tribe, this is something where we have a chance right now to go out and find accountability partners, people that are like-minded with us, that want to go out and make, you know, that want to go out and become financially stable, financially free, have control over their time, have control over their finances. And when you find those people that want to be held accountable, and if you want to be held accountable and you work together, that's the kind of stuff that's going to change your life. So follow us on Instagram. Please follow us on Instagram, and please follow us on the Telegram chat. We're going to be posting some information on there for you guys. Go out and build with purpose. And by all means, let everybody that you know, that you've talked to, that you know is interested in an opportunity to go out and let them know that we have a free sign up until the 22nd of August. So let's go out and make this happen. All right, that's all I got, guys.